Black Clover is back, and we are introduced 3 more members of the Ryuzen Seven, and I was right about 2 of them so far. We have a hot girl who's a guru. Her name is Komori, and she's a very sparkly personality, as I predicted it would be. Then you got the shy guy who keeps his distance, Jozu. He's basically wearing an Oni mask at all times, and I actually did not get this last guy right. This guy, he seems to be just a big, strong monk type character. I did not predict monk character, so I got 1 wrong. But I got 2 right so far. Hoping I can get the other 3 correct as well. And all 3 take turns beating the living shit out of Asta. Now, from what I can tell, no one is using magic or anti-magic or anything like that. They're using Zetten to fight, so it clearly is a one-sided thing on Asta's part because they're masters of it and he's still learning how to do it. So they're just beating the shit out of him constantly to the point where he's just knocked unconscious. I think the person Asta's going to get along with the most is Zenon because he seems to have a very bright, loud personality just like Asta, where he's just screaming at the top of his lungs, welcoming Asta to the land of the sun. So the thing that Komori is most interested in is actually Asta's hair color, because it's gray, and she's wondering if it's naturally like that, and she announces that she dyes her hair, and also if everyone in his country has the exact same hair color, and Asta's response is, no, we all have different hair color, mine just happens to be gray. And the idea that there are people out there with different hair colors that are natural seems to excite Komori, like, a lot. So Jozu and Komori then start getting into an argument about the way she's dressed and all the makeup and the dyed hair, and basically saying that she's a bad representation of their country. And her response is she wants to make everyone all joyful and happy and excited and bring some spirit to their country. And she's hoping that her fashion sense and personality will spread across the country and catch on. And since this is basically Black Clover's version of Japan, yeah, it most likely will catch on. Her old girl thing will definitely, I'll just call her Gal. It'll be easier I'll just go with the English version of it, Gal. Her Gal thing will definitely catch on. And so they continue training, and once again, Asta gets the shit kicked out of him, to the point where he's just lying on a rock near the water by himself at the end of the training, thinking about all of it. So Asta quickly catches on to how Zetten basically works, and I have to say, I'm with Yami on this. It is very creepy how easily Asta figures this shit out, because he figures out there's an absolute output, which he then calculates as 10 as a number. And as a result, you can then release this output depending on how you want in divisions of 10. So you can have 2 attacks that are each 5, or 5 attacks that are each power 2. I'm also going to assume that you can output all at once with a 10, which is probably what Ichika did to him and made him go fucking flying with 1 punch. Speaking of Ichika, she shows up while Asta is currently pondering how to get stronger and how to work with Zetten. So we learn her age. Apparently she's 24, which is interesting because Asta then asked if he should call her Big Sis, and she basically threatens to kill him again. Yeah, so she's there because Ryo asked her to look after Asta because he's busy dealing with the country because apparently it's still all in chaos. Which makes sense. If bandits are willing to crash into and attack the capital, then odds are the whole country's probably a clusterfuck at this point. So we finally get an explanation on Ryu's powers. Apparently it is neither magic nor ki. It is apparently just straight up his own third thing altogether. He just has clairvoyance. He's able to see everything that is happening in the entire world in the present. So he can't see the future or the past, but he can see everything that's happening right now, apparently in the entire world. Obviously, Asta doesn't believe that's possible and kind of basically considers it a ridiculous comment to make. And that comment from Asta did something that I cannot believe happened. It got Ichika to animate. Like, she goes full on yelling, screaming, moving her body around, flailing basically, announcing that with his clairvoyance, great leadership, and his just straight up popularity, he was able to unite all of their land and bring relative peace to their people. He's just that amazing of a person. She then immediately realizes what she's doing and just freezes, which is actually kind of cute. We're then treated to a second expression that I never thought I'd ever see from her, which is when she announces that Ryu saved her life. She's a very tender look on her face. This, of course, gets Asta excited, and he announces that her and Ryu are very great people, and he's glad they are, since they're connected to Yami. And he basically starts announcing how great Yami is and how he owes Yami so much, and that he's the pride of the Black Bulls. And he keeps going, but Ichika just cuts him off. Yeah, she wants to know nothing about her brother, which is interesting because Asta's like, why not? And then he goes, you know what, now that I think about it, didn't he say he got shipwrecked after going out fishing? And Ichika basically says that's complete nonsense and tells Asta that he annihilated their entire clan. based on what she said and how she responded about the boat thing, there are two outcomes that could have happened. One, he either was tricked, which led to the death of all of his clan, or he went full on Itachi and slaughtered them himself. I have my doubts on the second one. I think it's probably the first one. But in absolute shame, he probably did just get on a boat and sail away, and he just ended up in the Clover Kingdom is all. But hey, we're going to figure out real soon what that is, because we're going into a flashback. That's right, we're going to know Yami's backstory. It's funny, because like 200 chapters ago, his entire backstory was done as like a joke, just as a way to fuck with Lich, or Apatri, whatever. But here, we're going to get an actual backstory. That's actually pretty amazing. I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty damn funny, because this entire time, we've had the Black Bull's backstories the entire time, and Yami's was just a complete joke. Everyone else's was a serious backstory, but Yami's was just a joke, and we're finally getting a proper backstory for Yami. And based on the fact that his entire clan's going to get annihilated at the end, I'm going to assume it's a very serious one and not just a joke. Not going to lie, I never thought this was ever going to happen. I thought the joke backstory was it, and that was it for Yami. Because that seemed to be what he wanted to tell the people around him. He wanted to show them. So the fact that his sister is now going to tell Asta what his life was like, awesome. The fact that we're going to get this is just awesome. Unfortunately, we got a break next week. But at the same time, I'm so glad the man's finally taking breaks. Because he needs them. Alright. So if you enjoyed this, please subscribe, give a thumbs up so you can enjoy more Black Clover and other anime things. Thank you and have a great day.